My name is Euphorius, and this is Eve Online. Welcome. Today we're going to be talking about some of the problems and intricacies of Eve that new players face when they're starting out. I've talked to a few players and kind of gauged what they had problems with, what they had difficulties with, what they didn't really understand starting, and I want to help flesh out those problems and give you insight into some of the more complex and intricate mechanics within Eve. Specifically within fitting your ships to make ISK. A lot of new players, when they come to the game, they're struggling to make ISK, trying to figure out what the best way to make ISK is. And we're going to talk about the two main ways new players can make ISK. There are lots of ways you can make ISK. You can salvage, you can explore, you can PvP, although you've got to be pretty good to make ISK through PvP. You can mine and you can rat, you can run incursions, you can, market PvP, trading on the market, you can haul stuff. There's a multitude of places you can make ISK in Eve. But we're going to talk about ratting and mining, which are the two easiest and the two kind of most consistent ways to make ISK within Eve as a new player. Ratting specifically will help you get some skills for PvP as well. Mining will help you if you're going to go down an industry path, if you want to end up building capitals or producing things for an alliance. Specifically within ratting, if you're an alpha, picking Galente when you start out is pretty much essential because it gives you access to the ship you see on the screen. This is the Vexor Navy issue. It is the Galente faction version of the Vexor. It gets a bonus to drones, and that is very important when you're ratting. The drones are going to allow you to stay far away, and they have their own bonuses and stuff, so you don't have to worry about tracking from long distances. You can mostly not pay attention. You'll see there is some stuff you're going to have to manage, but we're going to talk pretty in depth about ratting and then go over a little bit of stuff about fitting for ships when you're mining. The main thing you want to look at when you're fitting a ship, whether that's for PvE, for mining, for exploration, whatever you're doing in Eve, you want to fit your ship to have a purpose and to fill a role and to fill that role well. There's so many different things and ways you can fit ships in Eve that if you fit your ship to have a specific role and do something well, you're going to be much more successful, right? If I fit a PvE ship like this Vexor for mining, it's not going to be very effective because it doesn't have mining bonuses, it doesn't have a large cargo hold, and you'll feel that when you're using it. If you look at a ship, let's look at the Vexor here, and you go to the traits, these are the bonuses the ship gets for every level of Galente cruiser skill you have. So if you have the skill at level 1, you get a 5% bonus to velocity and tracking speed for your drones, and a 10% bonus to hit points, damage, and mining yield for your drones. Now, you may say, oh, there's a mining yield bonus. That's, be good for mining. That bonus is not going to be very effective when you consider cargo space, when you consider the bonus to lasers and drones that the actual mining ships have. But if you have the skill at level 5, for example, you have a 25% bonus to velocity and tracking speed, and a 50% bonus to hit points and damage. 50% bonus to damage is pretty significant compared to a 10% bonus. And then you'll see under fitting, a ship has different sort of slots, and I've gone over basic fitting in a different video, and I've gone over other basic aspects of the game, but we're going to look at very specific things in regard to fitting a ship. So let's go ahead and look at the fitting of this Vexor. You can see there's not a lot of tank to this ship, which you might be saying, isn't that a problem? Won't you die? But no, we do have a little bit of tank up here in our rig slots. The rigs, of course, cannot be unfit from the ship. Once you fit them, they're there unless you destroy them to get rid of them. You can see there's a destroy option here, and that will get rid of the rig and let you replace it, but these cannot be unfitted. You can see if you look at these rigs, there's a kinetic screen reinforcer and 2 thermal. So we're boosting our thermal resist to shield and our kinetic resist to shield right here, because that is what the damage that the pirates in this space do. So you'll want to, if you're using a fit like this, your alliance probably already has a fit similar for ratting in your space. You're gonna fit a similar way, right? If the rats do, if you're in angel space, you'll want to fit for angel damage. If you're in Garista space, you want to fit for Garista's damage. Every pirate faction has a different damage profile that you'll want to fit for, and your alliance can help you figure out what specifically that is. So our rigs, we're just giving our ship more resistance, and that is so that we land on grid. We have more time to get up to speed, because this ship is designed to speed tank a site. You can see over here we have a compact afterburner. The afterburner, you might say, is a prop mod. It lets your ship go faster. But why pick an afterburner over a micro warp drive? Micro warp drives, as you can see, get a 500% velocity bonus compared to 150. So we would be going considerably faster with a compact micro warp drive instead of the compact afterburner. But the afterburner, as you can see right here, does not have a signature radius modifier. Sig radius is the thing in Eve that basically it's how big your ship looks to whatever guns are shooting at you. So for that signature radius modifier, 500%, it makes your ship 500 times or 500% bigger, essentially, to the guns. So guns are going to have a lot better time tracking you and will hit you easily. The afterburner makes us go quite fast, but does not give us a penalty to our sig radius. So it allows us to essentially speed tank any incoming shots to where we essentially take no damage. We're going so fast and are so small, the ships and the sites we'll be running cannot do damage to us. Except for when we first get there and are getting up to speed. Because the afterburner does take some time to get up to speed. It's not as agile, but it does let us keep our sig radius smaller. It also uses slightly less cap. As you can see here, the activation cost is less than half. But it does have a little bit less cycle time, so you'll be cycling faster, so you'll be using slightly more cap there. But overall, it is a less cap intensive. And you'll also notice over here we have the 50 MN micro warp drive. That is a normal cruiser size micro warp drive. But over here we have a 100 MN afterburner, which is oversized. That is a battleship size afterburner. So we're using an oversized afterburner to get more speed. Of course, we're not going to be able to turn at all, pretty much, but we are going to be able to go much faster than a regular 10 MN would. You also can see over here under the micro warp drive that we get a negative penalty to our capacitor capacity. So that means we have less capacity overall, and it would lead to us being unstable. As you can see, our current fit is stable. This fit specifically probably is not stable for someone starting out or an alpha, but there are alpha fits that are almost exactly the same that will be stable, or at least stable enough to get you through your site. So you can see we are going to be speed tanking all of the ships in the site. pretty much everything else on this ship other than our damage control. Damage control does give us resistances to help us tank a little bit better. Everything else about the ship is just to amplify our damage, right? So we have a drone link augmenter, which allows us to be further away to control our drones. We have 2 drone navigation computers, which allow our drones to be faster. If they're faster, they can get to new targets quicker and kill things faster. We have a tracking link with a tracking speed script. This will allow us to track better, our drones to track better. They'll hit smaller ships easier. We have 2 omnidirectional tracking enhancers. As you can see, these give a bonus to the drone fall off, optimal range, and explosion velocity and tracking speed. Just further helping the drones be able to deal damage. We have 3 drone damage amps, which amplify the damage of the drones. You could honestly probably easily take out a tracking enhancer, put another drone damage amp in. And we have a cloak just in case something happens, and a cloak might save us because we have, at least I have, the fitting capacity for that. So as you can see, our ship is designed very specifically to do something. If this was a PvP ship, it would die instantly. It has no way to get away from people. The Afterburner does allow you to go pretty quick, but anyone with a micro warp drive is going to be able to keep up with you. We have almost no tank. We would die very quickly. It would be easy for people to pick off our drones. We would do a lot of damage, but outside of like 1 or 2 frigates maybe, it would be very hard to survive in this ship in PvP. This ship is designed to orbit a site, kill the drones in the site, and leave. It goes the same for whatever ship you're flying. If you're flying a armor tank ship, if you want to PvP in an armor tank ship or rat in an armor tank ship, and you want that buffer tank, you would fit your ship to be buffer tank. You wouldn't have active reps. You would just fit things to boost your buffer tank so you survive longer. If you want to fit active tank, you would fit things that let you repair your ship, but also increase your resistances. You wouldn't worry about buffer unless you're in this situation where you need a little bit more buffer to survive. Only really the case on like frigates or something. If you're in a mining ship, you want to fit mining modules to your ship. You want to fit lasers, you want to fit upgrades. The mining upgrades go in the low slots down here, which is also where armor tank goes. So you wouldn't want to armor tank a mining ship, you would want to shield tank it because the shield tank fits in the mid slots. There are no mining upgrades really that go in the mid slots, except for the submarine scanner, which lets you see asteroids. So you can kind of see now how you want to build a ship to do something specific, right? If you're flying an exploration ship, you don't want to fit it for PvP, unless you're trying to surprise someone and take them out. You're going to be using your mid slots for exploration purposes. Your high slots are going to be for a cloak, probe launcher. So you're limiting yourself in your combat capabilities. So you want to try to avoid combat with your cloaky ship. You want to fit it to where maybe you have inertial stabilizers or warp core stabilizers to help you align faster and get out, or so that you cannot be tackled and held down and killed. You want to fit your ship to do one thing and one thing well. You can fit ships to do something they're not designed to. People fit mining barges to bait people. People fit haulers for PvP. You can do these sort of things, but they're never going to perform in the way something that's designed to do something will perform. So we have our ship. what do we do now? Well, let's go take a look. All right, so you're now in space, right? We have jumped into a system in our alliance's space. You joined an alliance a couple days ago, kind of getting the feel for it. You've got your ship out here. You bought it on contracts, or you flew it, had it jump freighted out through your alliance service. Whether you're nullsec or highsec, highsec, you're not really going to be doing as intense sites as you will be in nullsec. Over here you can see our probe scanner is open. If you want to find the probe scanner, you come down here to scanners, and you can click the probe scanner right here, Alt-P, and it'll bring up this window. There may be some red signatures, and those are signatures you have to scan down. And nullsec, all combat anomalies are green. Green means they're warpable. You can just go ahead and warp to the site. Red means you have to scan it down before you can warp to it. Not all green signatures are going to be combat sites. There are gas sites. There are, as you can see here, an ore site. If you're mining, that's probably where you'll be mining with your alliance. But yeah, we have lots of different sites here. Which one do you go to? Well, there are different levels of sites in Eve. Lower tier sites spawn in highsec and lowsec, and higher tier sites spawn in lowsec and highsec, depending on the sec status, upgrades you have, etc. We have a lot of different options here, but we are going to warp to a forlorn hub. So we're going to align to it first. If you don't know what aligning is, aligning makes your ship point towards an object, whether that be a combat anomaly here, a gate, a station. It basically just points your ship in a direction and accelerates your ship to max speed. If you're aligned to something and above 75% speed, you will automatically warp to it, as long as your speed is 75% towards that vector. So you can see we're aligned. When we click warp here, we will instantly warp. We're going to warp in at 50 kilometers. We're going to come up here to orbit. We're going to set our default orbit to 40,000. And that's going to allow us to orbit the site at 40 kilometers, which is the optimal. If you just look at the default orbits, there isn't one for 40 kilometers. If you're at 30, you're a little too close and you'll start taking some damage. If you're further away, you won't pull aggro as much, and your drones will take longer to get there and stuff. So we're gonna click on, we'll click on this. We'll click orbit at 40K, and we'll turn on our prop mod. We'll go ahead and throw our drones out. And if you click this button up here, you can put your drones on aggressive and focus fire. That means if you get shot, your drones will automatically engage. See, I didn't click anything. Drones are going to engage one of these ships that are already hitting me. You can see I'm taking some damage. I took a little while to get up to speed. Should be okay. Starting to pick up some transversal. So you can see we got pretty low shields there. I didn't do the greatest job of getting up to speed and stuff, trying to explain things, but you can see that we're now orbiting, pretty much taking no damage. You may need to warp out sometimes if you get a bad entry into the site, you don't get up to speed, etc. But we should be fine. You can see my drones are now killing stuff. You can see we just killed a battleship. There's the addition to my bounty. So my drones are just going to kill anything that has attacked me. And they will keep doing that. You can see we're orbiting. We were down to like 34-35% shields. Shields regenning, pretty much taking no damage. You can see up here in the message log, the ships attacking me just continue to miss. The Core Grand Admiral misses. This is a very high tier site that we're doing in a cruiser that you have access to for free if you're playing Eve. You do not need to be subscribed to use this cruiser. You won't be able to use a lot of the T2 mods, but you can use this cruiser and do a similar thing. When you were ratting in nullsec, if you're part of a nullsec alliance, you want to be in their standing fleet. So in case an enemy comes in, tackles you, you have a chance to be saved. If you're in a place like Horde, Brave, Karma, Fleet, it's likely that there will be people around to come save you. My alliance, you can see there's no one in local, so it'll be a little harder for someone to come save me. It's good to have local chat open. You can see my locals here. I have my corp chat or fleet chat over here on the right. I have it hidden for privacy reasons. But yeah, it's important to have local open so you can see if anyone comes in. And you're pretty much just waiting until the site dies. You'll have to kill some of these manually. You know, you can go ahead and lock up some of the stuff. Once the stuff that's attacking you is being killed by your drones, you can finish off the rest. But, you know, you can see it doesn't take a lot of effort once you know how to fit a ship, right? We're sitting here making ISK, pretty much doing nothing, right? You know, we hit F there to attack. Now that the ones that have aggressed have died, and our drones will just kill these. Now we're not taking damage, and our drones are just going to finish the site for us. We do have heavy drones out. You can use sentries if you have a Omega status. Sentries apply instantly, so you can use your mids for something else. You can use heavies. There are multiple things that you can do. You can see our heavies are not going to have too much trouble hitting these smaller ships because we have the omnidirectionals and the links, the enhancers and links. To boost our drones tracking, so the size of the ship and the speed they're going isn't going to affect them as much. Down here you can see I only have 3 modules. That is because these are the only 3 active modules on the ship. I like to keep one module, any module that I'm not going to be using often and I don't want to accidentally hit off to the side. If you normally all your modules will be showed, but you can click down here on this hamburger icon for options, and you can display or undisplay your passive modules. And you know, you're making ISK. With this you can make pretty good ISK per hour. I'll probably get 15 million ticks. Starting out you might get 5 to 10 million ticks, and each tick is 20 minutes, so you know, you might start making 15 to 30 million ISK an hour for pretty much nothing. And this scales pretty well. You can have, you know, 2, 3, 5 accounts all ratting in these VNIs and making ISK for you. The better skills you have, the better you'll be able to fit it, obviously. And it just goes to show how important fitting a ship is, right? I don't need to worry about active tank. I don't need to worry about firing missiles. I don't need to worry about firing guns. My drones are just doing all the work. You know, sometimes I have to click F to get them into attack. But for the most part, they'll do it on your own. You can sit here and watch a movie, hang out on TeamSpeak with your alliance, and, you know, market PvP, listening to see if anyone comes into the system, into the pocket. Yeah, so nullsec isn't a scary place. You can see I'm just sitting here in our pocket, just killing rats and making ISK. We can go a few jumps away and fight people if we want. Nullsec isn't that scary though. You just have to know what to do, right? I have local up, I have fleet chat up, I have alliance intel up. All these things allow me to be safe while I make ISK, so that I can buy PvP ships and go kill people. But yeah, that's just kind of the methodology you need to fit a ship. If you're going to fit a ship to do something, make sure you're fitting it with the purpose in mind and fitting it in a way that amplifies what the ship's good at for that purpose. Whether that's a kiting ship for PvP, you don't want to fit armor plates to a kiting ship really, because that'll slow the ship down, make it easier for it to get caught. But you can shield fit it so that you can go quickly. You can fit long range point so you can stay away from a target. If you're going to be getting in close, you might fit a web, warp scram, armor tank. It just depends on what you want to do. It's important to look at a module. You know, you can right click show info, see what the attributes do, right? Oh, so this one activates for 30 seconds, right? It says how much cap it's going to use. And these are the bonuses it gives, right? It makes it so that my drones track better. 30% to drone tracking is pretty significant. My ship stats. What do my ship stats give me? My ship stats give me bonuses to drones. So if it gives me a bonus to drones, I don't want to leave the drones in the station. I want to bring the drones with me. It's important to understand what your ship can do. It's important to understand what the modules can do. And it's important to understand how they work together to do a specific task. It gives the same for mining, for exploration, ratting, PvP. Everything in Eve is built around fitting a ship to do a certain task. Yes, you can be creative and do some interesting things, right? You can fit mining barges to tackle ships and kill them. You can fit PvP ships for mining, for exploration. You can do anything you want in Eve, but if you want to learn and be successful starting out, it's important to understand the relationship between your modules, your ships, the different bonuses they get, and how you can use that to your advantage. If you're starting out and looking to make money, ratting, mining, exploration, these are all great things to get into. Joining a nullsec alliance or a wormhole alliance or a lowsec alliance or corporation will allow you to really explore the game, make more ISK, get into more fights, and talk to people who really know the game. If you just sit in high sec and mine or do missions, sure, you might have fun, but you'll never have as much fun as you will in nullsec or wormhole space or lowsec, hanging out with a group of people, making ISK, fighting, and just learning how great Eve can be. If you need help, feel free to leave a comment below. My buddy code is in the description of the video. If you sign up to Eve using that buddy code, you will get 250,000 extra skill points. And if you subscribe with that code, you will I will get a reward, and I will split that reward with you. Currently, I'm giving about 50% of a plex, or about the worth of 250 plex to anyone that signs up. So that also immediately adds me as a contact. You can ask me questions. I talk to people daily, helping them with any concerns they have. I help them find different alliances or corporations that might be a good fit for them. So if that's something that you're interested in, go ahead and click that link. Leave me a comment on YouTube. Leave a like if you like the video. I would greatly appreciate it. And I hope this video helped you. And I hope you have a good time in Eve. And safe flying.